This meeting is called to order. Dick, would you please lead in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is, as always, to approve the minutes of previous meetings, starting with the work session on October 22, 2012.
I'll move to approve those minutes as written.
Second.
It's been moved by Mike and seconded by Ray. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Next, we have the October 22, 2012 non-public minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Been moved by Dick and seconded by Mike. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Those minutes are approved. Moving on to the October 22, 2012 regular select board minutes.
I'll move to approve those as presented.
Second.
It's been moved by Mike and seconded by Dick. Dick, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Those minutes are approved. And finally, we have the November 5, 2012 budget work session meeting minutes.
Move they be approved as presented.
Second.
Been moved by Ray and seconded by Mike. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll abstain.
All right, those minutes are approved. Announcements. The Select Board will meet on the following dates. Regular meetings at 6 p.m. on Monday, November 26, 2012, and December 3, 2012. Work review sessions prior to the regular meetings will start at 5 p.m. We will have a budget work session at 5 p.m. on Monday, November 19, 2012, which will be followed by a special presentation on the right to know laws for boards and commissions at 6 p.m. All of the above meetings will be held in the town hall unless otherwise posted. Weather observations for the month of October are available in the town hall, and citizens wishing to be listed on the selectmen's agenda should notify the town hall before 12 p.m. on the Friday before the scheduled meeting. Okay, first actual item on the agenda under updates, Madeline McElhaney, final report on the Better Buildings program. Hi, Madeline.
I'm Madeline McElhaney. I'm the community manager for the Plymouth Better Buildings program. And I actually have more of a Q3 report tonight. The Better Buildings program will continue to run until the end of May 2013.
That's right.
And there are a few changes going on and a few things that I wanted to update you on. So it was great that I was invited to speak here tonight. As far as Q3, we report to the Department of Energy each quarter, and just reported, let's see, August, September, October's numbers. And it was really all about leveraging in this particular quarter. We wanted to make our grant money go as far as possible by leveraging funds from other programs so that we could do more projects on both the commercial and on the residential side. On the residential side, we partnered with the New Hampshire Electric Co-op and Tri-County CAP to do more home energy assessments and projects with the co-op. and then do more work with the Tri-County CAPS weatherization program. The co-op just reported that our money enabled them to do an additional 17 energy analysis, and 13 of those went forward to do projects. And then the Tri-County CAP folks were trying to spend down their money from another budget first, and then are now just starting to utilize the funding from our program. So we'll probably see more numbers from them fourth quarter of 2012, and then first and second quarters of 2013. On the commercial side, we have 9 businesses in Plymouth that have now completed projects. Just recently, the Pema Youth Center, Bonnie Bray Farm, Plymouth Family Practice, the Italian Farmhouse, all finished projects. And the Pema Youth Center was actually featured in a e-newsletter that goes out to all of the grantees to the Better Buildings program across the United States. And they feature one project per newsletter. I think the newsletter goes out every other week, and the Pema Youth Center was their feature project.
What was their project, Madeline?
Oh gosh. No, it's a good question. I know they did, they added a new hot water heater. They did some lighting improvements. They did a bunch of air sealing and insulation in the building. And I think they also may have updated their boiler. And that project in particular created a positive cash flow within the first year. So that was one of the things that we were really excited about, that they were going to see a return on their investment within the first 12 months that they spent the money.
That's great.
Yeah.
Madeline, if I could jump in, a question to help those who may not be familiar. What is Tri-County CAP?
It's the Community Action Program, and it's a, I guess it would be is it a non-government entity? But it's a nonprofit that's helping the low-income sector with weatherization services in their homes, fuel supplements. I'm probably not going to do a great job describing everything they do.
Thank you.
Sure. You have to qualify by having a certain income threshold or lower in order to qualify for their services. So one of the reasons we partnered with the Community Action Program was in Berlin, for example, they have a waiting list of 700 people that are waiting for their services and they don't have the funds for. So by bolstering their program and helping them ramp up a little bit, we're able to help out a lot of people who may not have been warm enough this winter, really. Also on the commercial side, we have a whole bunch of projects that are just on the threshold of being complete. The folks at VenturePrint have been doing some work. Steve Rand has 3 buildings in town that we've been working on. There are 3 buildings in Village Square, Plymouth Furniture. There are 3 buildings owned by Spear, Lakes Region Chiropractic, and then a couple buildings in Ashland. Let's see. Some interesting statistics statewide from the Better Buildings program from quarter 3. All 3 communities combined, Nashua, Berlin, and Plymouth, were able to complete 181 residential projects, 9 commercial projects altogether. There were 43 New Hampshire-based contractors that were doing this work, and a lot of times those contractors would also have subs working for them too. Average cost for a residential project was $4,722. The average cost for a commercial project was about $76,000. The Better Buildings program made loans in the amount of $437,639. And altogether, we leveraged funds in the realm of $1,078,000 from other programs. So a lot of times the Better Buildings program was funding a small portion of a project, and then there was a bunch of other stuff going on that was able to increase the size and scope of the work being done. We're estimating that the projects from Q3 are going to save building owners a total of $164,876 a year in electricity and fuel savings. And a lot of that money is going right back into our New Hampshire economy. And that amounts to about 170,402 kilowatt hours saved, 14,463 therms of natural gas, a lot of that in the Nashua area, and 26,995 gallons of heating oil or propane saved. So basically, this program is doing what we had hoped it would do. So we're really pleased to see that. Something that I've been focusing on in Plymouth is a little bit of workforce development. And in order to do that, we've partnered with the Efficiency Training Program, which was a number of partners funded through the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative to offer some one-day seminars and trainings for the workforce in New Hampshire doing energy efficiency work. Better Buildings sponsored an energy efficiency in commercial buildings workshop. We sponsored a deep energy retrofits workshop with a guy named Mark Rosenbaum doing the speaking, and that workshop in particular actually attracted over 70 people. So it was standing room only. And then on Thursday in the morning at the Common Man Inn in Plymouth, we have a real estate professionals energy efficiency workshop. And this is something that the folks at Lakes Region Community College and Sustainable Energy Resource Group, which is based out of Vermont, have been working on for a really long time, and working with the New Hampshire Board of Realtors to get continuing education units accredited. Finally got it approved, so if anybody is a real estate professional attending this workshop, it's worth 2 continuing education credits. It's $25. There's still room. You can register tomorrow, and that includes breakfast, the $25. And you can register by getting in touch with Zach at Plymouth Area Renewable Energy Initiative. Zach's at 536-5030. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, you may have noticed my change in physique. I'm getting ready to take some maternity leave, and while I'm away, the contacts for the Better Buildings program will be Veronica Collins, Kate Peters, and Eric Sandberg. The contact information will stay the same, so you can call the same number that you've always called to get to the Plymouth office. It'll be forwarded to the Concord office, so there will be a person at the end of the line. And the same goes for email. And the Plymouth office will continue to be staffed a couple days a week. And then if somebody needs to make an appointment, appointments are as needed. So we're not going away completely. And I'm intending to come back after my maternity leave and finish up the program. I'll have a special guest with me, hopefully. We've been doing a lot of talking lately about the future of Better Buildings. When this program initially began, the intent was to create something sustainable so that after the first iteration of Better Buildings ended in May of 2013, there was something that lived on after that. We will have money coming back to the program from our revolving loans program. People will be paying off loans, and the loan loss reserve funds that were set up will be released back to the Better Buildings program. And there may be additional funds coming in. The partner banks that we've worked with, all the local banks in New Hampshire, have been fantastic. We've learned a lot. And we really don't want to lose that. So we don't have anything finalized at this time. We will soon, because we're running out of time. But what we're looking at are different ways to continue this loan fund so that most likely commercial entities in the state of New Hampshire will have a low interest loan that can be brought down, held at a local bank, but with a much lower interest rate than they normally would be able to access, specifically for doing energy efficiency work and the health and safety measures that relate to that energy efficiency work. So the details of that are still to be determined, and I wish I had more for you on it, but we definitely will in the next 4 months or so. But it's neat to know that all of the work that we've done over the past couple of years is going to live on in some way, shape, or form, and we'll still have these loan resources for folks that want to do energy efficiency work. So that's all I have. I'm happy to answer questions that you might have.
Just for clarification, so the loan payments that are being made by businesses or residents go back into your coffers so that revolving fund remains, or does it go to the state or national program?
No, they would go back to the New Hampshire specific program. There are 2 types of loans on the commercial side that we've done with banks. We've done an interest rate buy down at the beginning of the smaller loans, the $20,000 or smaller loans. That's just a flat payment to the bank that creates a much lower interest rate for the consumer in the end. And there's a loan loss reserve fund for that interest, for that loan, so that if the borrower defaults on the loan, there's 50% of that loan value in an escrow account that the bank can recoup the cost of. Those loan loss reserve funds will be released when the loan itself is paid off. Most of the loans, if not all of the loans, are 5 to 10 years in duration. Larger loans, the $20,000 and up, we do as a co-lending agreement. So 50% of the funding is coming from the Better Buildings program at 0%. 50% of the funding is coming from whatever the financial institution is at whatever percent they've agreed upon.
Yep.
So the co-lending gets paid back to Better Buildings at the end of the loan as well.
Any other questions?
No?
No questions?
All right.
Great program, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you,
having
and
me.
best wishes to you with your new arrival.
Thank
New
you.
arrival.
We'll probably see us around town in the next couple months.
That's great. Thank you, Madeline.
Have a good night, everyone.
You too. Right. Moving down our agenda, under Chairman's comments. Plymouth's 250th year will begin on January 1st, 2013, which is less than 2 months away. And I know we've had a lot of people who have expressed ideas that they'd like to contribute to our celebration, which will actually culminate next July. We did have a good group of people who came to a meeting concerning the semi-quincentennial, as it is technically called. But we really still need ideas. We need people to share, you know, whether it's a small idea or a big idea that could be just part of Plymouth's celebration over the first 7 months of 2013, to please contact the co-chairs of the Semi-Quincentennial Committee, and that would be Steve Rand or Patrice Scott. So thank you very much for that. And moving on to committee reports. Ray?
I have none.
The planning board met, I guess, what, two weeks ago, and approved the Business Center, Enterprise Center up at 149 North Main. So that's a good thing, and I think they're going to probably get going pretty quickly on that.
Yeah, I saw that the windows were all covered with something today, so I think they're getting
I think they're
started.
doing some remediation work inside.
Is that building coming down?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so there's probably some lead paint and asbestos and other materials that they need to get out there before they can do a full demo on it.
Mike?
Well, as you know, Val, you and I met with our attorney and representatives from Holderness and Ashland today, along with a representative from Time Warner Cable over the anticipated renewal of our cable franchise agreement to discuss some of the issues there, and I think some progress was made. We went through a draft agreement and talked about some of the things that we'd like to see. The primary one of which for the town of Plymouth is to, if we can talk them into it somehow, is extending the cable to those few people left who don't have cable service yet. Although we don't know yet how helpful they're going to be, really. It's a little hard to
Right.
tell.
She sounded more
A little
like
more.
they were willing to cooperate. And to that end, I know we've got some roads that, we've talked about Texas Hill repeatedly and Cummings Hill roads being still in need of cable. I understand that there are some small streets in town that are having, either don't have cable or a stretch of houses without cable. If you're watching this, you're not one of those, but if you're aware of anybody in Plymouth who's on a street, please ask them to contact the town hall so that we can make sure that Time Warner Cable knows all of the streets that are still in need of cable service.
Okay.
And have any public comment this evening? Seeing none. Paul, is there any business that we need to discuss in non-public?
Contract.
Okay. So, could I have a motion to go into a non-public session in accordance with RSA 91-A:3, 2, C?
A through C.
A through C.
So moved.
Second?
It's been moved by Mike and seconded by Dick. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. So we are now in non-public.